How do you do? I am John von Hobie. I am very, very pleased today to present a Wardian case. You may or may not be aware of the derivation and how Wardian cases came to be, but I'm going to start with a personal anecdote about how this particular Wardian case came to be about 30 years ago. I was in Chestnut Hill, Philadelphia, which is where I had my restoration and custom furniture business. And I had a call from a longtime client. I was kind of surprised to hear from her because we didn't have anything in the pipeline for her. She was certainly not calling me to bug me and say, hey, where's my chair? But she was very excited. It was during a Philadelphia flower show, which generally lasts about 10 days, and it brings people from all over the world. It is an internationally famous flower show, and it is quite prestigious to win first prize in any category. So her dear friend, this is Virginia Einwechter, calling me and saying, John, my dear friend just won the blue ribbon for orchids, and they're displayed in a Wardian case, and I must have one. So I'm like, okay, cool. She said, do me a favor, please. Go to the flower show before it closes. Take a picture, take some measurements, and build me one. So here it is. She lived with it for about 20 years, moved into a retirement home, and called me one day and said, how would you like to have your Wardian case back? And I said, oh, absolutely. I worked on it for so long, it became a dear friend. It was on my bench for a long time. And as we get into the details of the construction and some of the choices and thinking that went into this particular case, you'll see why I have such a fondness for it. And yet, in today's world, philosophically, you can't become attached to everything. So if this enhances your home and you can give it a good home, and you'd like to purchase this from us, from us online, hallelujah. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. Wardian cases became known as such because Dr. Ward, a botanist from South London, this is pre-photography. So a botanist could not go out and collect information by photographing things and bringing them back to his laboratory in London. He had to collect actual specimens. So he would go to South America and have, say, a couple dozen of these Wardian cases in the early 19th century on the deck of a ship, and bring back specimens that would be drawn and then hand-colored by artists and put in collections of books and prints, and he became quite famous for his documentation of flora and fauna. And so it's a really, the only improvement we made over the originals is putting a grow light inside it. It's limited to a tiny hole in the back so a wire can come in. But other than that, it is a faithful reproduction of a Wardian case as known to Dr. Ward himself, and as known, you can look up on the internet and you will see a bunch of, not so lovely versions. But this is the one that he has drawings of that have been published. You can see a drawing of this very Wardian case. And it's a very faithful reproduction, except for the fact that I chose to make this one out of walnut. So you're looking at the ideal color of walnut, you're looking at some amazing joinery. The dovetails, the hand dovetails, the pass-through profiles that join at all the junctures. And I can tell you, in all honesty, I put my hand on a Bible, this case has never had a loose joint in it in its lifetime. It has been moved 3 times in Pennsylvania. It has been moved from Pennsylvania to Kentucky. It has perfect structural integrity. And one of the things I did to prevent the overwatering of plants from damaging the wood is I literally lined it as if I were building an aquarium at the bottom. I put Lexan with good joinery in the joints. And I put a copper band around the top. So in case you ever want to fill it with soil up to here, all you're going to see at the top edge is copper. But no one has ever wanted to do that because it would become so heavy you couldn't move it. So it's perfect for just putting potted plants in it, overwater them day in and day out, and it has no impact whatsoever on the wood. So it has maintained, it is literally in the condition it was in when it was built. It's got an exquisite French polished lacquer finish. It's the ideal color of walnut. So not surprisingly, it pretty much matches the table it's sitting on. I would rather not sell the table, but if you're interested in the Wardian case, I hope you'll be in touch with us. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video.